Well, hello and welcome to Knife Delights and welcome to another Way Back Wednesday. Yeah, a great open tag started by our friend Warthog. Rick, I hope this finds you doing well, and thank you so much for starting this great open tag. On behalf of Warthog here, I invite all channels to participate in this Way Back Wednesday, and to be eligible, a knife just needs to be made prior to the year 2000, and that fits in for a Way Back Wednesday video. So what I've got here today is a Gerber, and I found this in an antique store when I was out with Big J. Yeah, I just got home from a long trip visiting in-laws and celebrating Christmas, early Christmas with them. And I got to get busy and start making some videos. So yeah, this is the Gerber Mark 1. And here's the sheath that goes along with it. It is a boot knife. You can see this here, meant to go down in your boot. And the sheath is pretty dirty. So before I give you any information on the knife here, let's just start working on this sheath here a little bit. I'm going to be using some saddle soap. You can find saddle soap at any Western store or farm supply store. They'll usually have some. So you just take and you have a damp rag, take this saddle soap, and it really cleans, and in some ways it'll help condition the leather. But before we put any actual conditioner on there, and I'll be using that conditioner that Last Chance Knives sent me. But before we get that, we want to clean it. See, it's foaming up there real good. And you only want to use the saddle soap on the finished part of the leather. You don't want to use it on the unfinished side. It doesn't take a lot. But this is just a good start. Get this sheath cleaned up here just a little bit. It's going to be hard getting back in there. And of course that's metal there and it's rusted. So we'll have to work on that some. But let's just get the leather going, and then we can let it dry as we work on and talk about this great Dagger. This is actually the first Dagger that I've ever owned. It looks like there's some paint or something on there. I don't know what we're going to do to get that off. I don't know. But looky there. You can see just by using some saddle soap how much better this knife looks before we put the conditioner on it. Sorry, keep hitting the tripod here. Okay, that's with the saddle soap. We're going to set all this aside and let it dry out. We'll get it conditioned later and work on that. And now we'll get to this knife. Again, it's the Gerber Mark II. It's a Dagger. The Mark II actually came out after, I'm sorry, this is the Mark I. And the Mark I actually came out after the Mark II. And the Mark II was, I think, an inch or so longer and had some serrations on one side of it. So let me just see here. What do we want to do to get started? Well, let's go the easy route first. Just see what we can get off of here by hand. I don't like to use power tools unless I need to. So let's just use some rubbing compound. Number 7. See if we can get this knife cleaned up a little bit. Now, I haven't had a chance. Like I said, I just got home from a long trip, being out of town. And I haven't had a real chance to research this a lot. But from what I do know is, again, this was made back in the 1980s or so. And I remember reading a blog about it. And the gentleman that wrote the blog said he wanted one of these when he was a kid back in the 1980s. And that's kind of when these first came out. And he said they cost $50. And so for, back in the 80s, $50, that was a bit of money. Sorry about bumping the camera here. trying to reach around here and do this. Well, we got some stuff on there. I don't think I'll get off by just hand rubbing it. Let's just see what we got here. Oh, where's my other rag? It's up there. Way up over there. Okay, start out simple. See what you got to work with here. Well, I do think I'm going to have to get that old Dremel out, because there's some spots on there that just do not want to come off. Okay, hang on just a minute. Well, I bumped the camera and I had started to record what I was doing. I switched to this wire wheel to try to get down really close down in there by the guard, and on the top here it was very dirty down in there. So I got some of it here with my wire wheel, but there was some of it I couldn't reach down in there, so I very lightly went over with this sandpaper. This is like 2000 grit, just to get rid of that little bit down there. As you can see, the blade now is pretty clean. Pretty clean. I think I got just about everything off of it. I think it's ready for some polish. We'll see. I think she's coming out pretty nice though. Alright, this is what we got after one pass with the case paste. It's shining up pretty good. Of course, you can see this knife's been used. It's got some scratches in the blade. That D5946S, I'm not quite sure what that is. I don't know if the D stands for maybe the year it was made. But there's a good shot of the Gerber tang stamp, Gerber, Portland, Oregon, USA. Well, I got a little bit more work to do to get that blade shined up, but I'll do that off camera. Okay, we got this blade looking pretty good. There are a couple little minor blemishes yet here and there. Of course, the knife is it's scarred up, scratched up some. but still that blade's in pretty good condition. This handle looks just a little bit dull, so I thought we'd try this, and this is the conditioner that Last Chance Knives makes, and I think you can, oh, I gotta look up again, see where you can get this. I think he's selling it on Etsy, I want to say. We will see. But anyway, it's made from natural products, natural materials, and you can just take it and rub it. Just get a little bit on there and then just rub it around, and it will not harm your skin one bit. But you can do that. And somebody said, doesn't it leave it sticky? Well, no, it doesn't. It wears right off. It'll smooth right out. But you can see how it leaves a nice luster to that handle. Now you can, if you want to, you can finish rubbing it off like that. If you think you got a little bit extra on here, you can take a rag and just buff on it a little bit. But no, it does not leave it sticky. And you can see there's some marks in there. That's not going to come out. That's just from use. That's just the character of the knife. Nice lanyard hole down there too, isn't there? Like I said, this is the first Dagger I've ever owned. Check your local laws, because here in my state, it's not illegal for me to own it, but I cannot carry it concealed. Cannot carry a dagger or a dirk. I'm not even sure if you're supposed to carry them without checking the laws again. But always check your local knife laws. Make sure you're legal. Okay, so there's our knife. We'll go back to the sheath here. And it does say Gerber down there in the clip. And again, this is meant to be a boot knife. So you can clip onto your boot. And I'll have to do some sanding and maybe paint that up, get that looking better. But I just wanted to show you the difference here, using some saddle soap first to clean the leather, and then some of this conditioner. You see how it gets that filmy look to it. Just rub it on there, and then you can just keep rubbing it in. Check out the back side here. It's kind of hard the way that clip is to get on here. Always want to keep your leather conditioned. I don't know if there's a way I can take that clip. Well, I suppose it's riveted in there. Boy, it should be nice to get that clip out of there. I don't know. I'll have to see. We're just going to keep rubbing. Then we take a cloth and just buff up. I keep hitting the camera, don't I? Just buff on it here a little bit. Sorry about the shaky camera. You can see it's still getting some more of that dirt out. But that just looks a whole lot better than when we started, doesn't it? And again, this is something I'll have to keep working on. I'll have to get rid of the rust like here and here. And of course on the clip. That won't be too hard to do. Okay, for this Way Back Wednesday, this is what I wanted to show you. How that knife and sheath just cleans up so nice. Again, I want to thank Warthog for this wonderful open tag. I love finding these old knives, especially a classic fixed blade design like this, a Dagger. And I want to thank, you'll probably hear me say it over and over, but I want to thank Big J for showing me the town here a few days ago, and we sure had a blast out shopping for these knives. So Until next time, everybody, have a very delightful day. Now down here in the bottom right-hand corner, I'll leave a link to my playlist. That big round knife delights there, well, hit that button if you'd like to subscribe. And down here in the lower left-hand corner, well, that's just the next video that YouTube thinks you should watch.